We're continuing on Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim, Siman Nun Hey, and we're up to Seif Chaf Aleph. Maran writes, Ir she'en bah ela asara, ve'echad mehem rotze latzet bayamim hanoraim, mechayevin oto lishaer. Imagine not having a minyan on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Those are days that you want to have minyan. So if you have a town that you only have 10 Jewish adult men, and one of them wants to leave to go to Uman, for instance, right? No one does that. That's for shalom. Right? No, I'm saying if you're breaking the minyan at least, right? So it says, Shulchan Aruch, you can't go to Uman. It says, "Ve'echad mehem rotze latzet bayamim hanoraim, mechayevin oto lishaer." You obligate him to stay, or alternatively, he could pay for a Jewish religious person that counts as minyan to come instead of him. If there are 11 people, 2 people want to go to Uman. Right? So what do you do now? So you have a minyan with one of them going, so you got to choose between the two. How are you going to do that? Right? Yaskiru shenehem ehad. Both of them together will hire one person to go to Uman instead of them. That's correct. Yaskiru shenehem ehad b'shutafut b'mkomam u'shnehem yifreu b'shaveh. So they hire equal 50-50% they pay for someone to stay there and then they could leave. If one of them is ani and the other one is ashir, put in we've discussed this before. You divide the cost to two. Imagine if they have to pay $2,000, they'll pay $500 each for the first $1,000. That's 50% of the cost. That would be b'shaveh, and the other 50% will be based on their money. So if one of them is, depending on how rich and how poor, they will divide the second $1,000 based on their thing. Imagine if one of them is really not, so then it will be 100 and 900. It could even be, and then you'll have the cost covered. And they have to both participate in the schar of the shliach tzibur, the chazan that the community hires, because they are considered as if they are there. They're still not off the hook. They're not patur from participating in the obligations of payment from the tzibur of that place. The Rama adds, "Ve'er chiluk ben im rotze lelech zeman aroch." It doesn't make a difference if the person is going for a long time, Kodem Yom Tov, although that even if he's going Rosh Chodesh Elul, he says, well, I'm going 40 days before already, before Yom Kippur, 30 days before Rosh Hashanah, it doesn't make a difference. If he's not going to be there, he is a resident of that area, and he's leaving on a trip he's not moving, but he's leaving on a trip for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, he is included in this. Doesn't make a difference if it's a short time or a long time prior. So says the Mishna Berurah, because there's minhag in all of Klal Yisrael, even those places that don't normally make a minyan, they make sure to pay for people to come and complete their minyan in order to have minyan on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. That's minhag of all of Klal Yisrael. Nobody davens b'yachid on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Therefore, or they themselves schlep. If they say, imagine if a place doesn't have minyan at all, so you either hire other people to come to you, or you just schlep and go to a place that has a minyan. That's the minhag of all of Klal Yisrael. So therefore, this becomes one of the basic needs of the community, like Sefer Torah and Bet Knesset. that the people of the city could force each other to participate in those needs. Like for Sefer Torah, you can force people, if you don't have a Sefer Torah, you're in a city that doesn't have a Sefer Torah. You force everyone to chip in to buy a Sefer Torah or to build a Bet Knesset. So here it becomes one of those because it's the minhag that's well spread in all of Klal Yisrael that you gotta have minyan for Yamim Noraim. You can force people so you cannot leave. And even if they want to leave, that's on them to make sure to make a replacement. Sorry? You could rent a Sefer Torah, of course. But imagine if it's not available. Back in the day, it wasn't like this, that everyone that his father passes away, they donate a Sefer Torah. It's a beautiful thing. Everyone should have their own Sefer Torah. But, you know, when it was expensive and things were not as, resources were limited, so then you have a Sefer Torah, you have a Sefer Torah, you don't have a Sefer Torah. If you can't rent, what do you got to do? So you force people, so you must pay based on their ability, and that's the community in order to have the basic needs of a kila. If you have 11 people, 2 people want to leave, says the Mishna Berurah, same thing as if you have 12 people, 3 people want to leave. Doesn't make a difference. Same cheshbon, same formula, so all 3 of them would divide the cost of 1 person. Or if you have 13 and 4 want to leave, and so on. All of those people who want to leave that break the minyan would together, the shutafut, hire 1 person to be there and complete the minyan. So says the Mishna Berurah. Now, before we go further, if on this part, the 11, you have 11 people and 2 people want to leave. If you have only one of them that wants to leave, so you have 11 people, 1 person wants to leave. The Kaf Chaim says that you don't force him to stay. Just yeah, I'm leaving a minyan. I'm leaving a minyan. Now, we don't say, well, maybe one of them is going to get corona and is not going to be available. We need 1 in reserves. You don't operate like that. If you have 10, the guy says, yeah, there's minyan, everyone is healthy. And he goes, that's fine. You don't have to force. You're not choshesh. You're not worried that maybe he's going to get sick, like we do by Kohen Gadol and Yom Kippurim. We don't do that. We say, okay, minyan, Baruch Hashem, there's minyan, you could go. So says Mishna Berurah, this fact that the expense, half of it is shaveh b'shaveh, half of it is 50-50, half of it is based on their wealth, says the Mishna Berurah, Acharonim katvu the ta'ut soferu. The poskim disagree with this. They say it's ta'ut sofer. The bazeh porim shneim b'shaveh. They pay both of them equal. In every aspect of the expense, they pay equal, and they don't make it half and half. But Kaf Chaim brings that there are those who disagree with this, and they say that even over here, you do half of it shaveh b'shaveh, 50-50, and the other half you do based on their the number of their family, and which in this case will be the accumulated wealth that the person has. But the Mishna Berurah does not go with Kaf Chaim. It says the poskim say that this Shulchan Aruch is a ta'ut sofer, and both of them have to give 50-50. Because each one of them has to bring 1 person in their stead. Because in the beginning there was a minyan shalem, there was a full minyan. You're not allowed to break the minyan. This that you give half of it based on your wealth. That's only when you have 8 people in the city and you need to bring 2 more people. Then it also depends on the wealth of the people who are, those 8 people who were there. Because aniyim yecholim lalechet leir smucha. The aniyim could say, well, I don't want to pay. I much rather schlep myself to the next city and have a minyan than to pay and bring somebody here. So you can't force me to pay. If you want to pay, you pay. I don't have the money. I want to go somewhere else. So therefore, the rich people, they have to, they can't leave their house. They're not going to leave all their assets and just go to somewhere else. They want to stay. So you want to stay, you pay for it. If the ani says, well, I don't have anything to lose, I could just as well get up and go. That's something that they have to reckon with. And hence, in that case, the wealth of the people does count. But in the case that there was a minyan, so then there's obligation on each one of them to make sure the minyan stays. Very different. The obligation, is on people to keep the minyan. You cannot leave. You want to leave, you have to pay 50%, even if you're an ani. Right, but again, if you don't have a minyan, you're not breaking anything. You either have to bring people in, or you could just disperse yourselves to go there. So if the guy says, I don't have money, I much rather just leave. You guys, the 7 leftovers, will bring 3 people and pay for it. You want to stay, you pay for it. If I stay here, then you pay less. You pay for 2 people only. That's lefi amamon. That's why. But if you have already 10, and now the ani wants to break the 10, you say, well, you're not allowed to break it. It's not that I'm going to go to some other minyan. You can't, because by going, you're breaking our minyan. So if you do decide to go, you have to pay for it. Even if you are an ani, it doesn't make a difference in that case. You find an ani that's cheaper to bring in, but you can't. You don't get to say you pay for me because I want to leave, right? When you have a minyan. Says the Mishna Berurah, Uschar Chazan, we mentioned the payment of the Chazan, the Shliach Tzibur that you hire, it's on people who leave equally as much as people who stay. Says the Mishna Berurah, Misha Eino Yachol Lachazor Lebeto Mahmad Ones. Let's say you got stuck somewhere on the way and you have to stay for Yamim Noraim. She'enu Rashai Lavo B'Medina. He's honest. He's not allowed to come, or he can't make it. His flight got canceled, whatever else may be. Patur afilu higia zman haregel. Then he's patur from payment of the chazan. He says, I wanted to be there, I couldn't make it. It's not that I decided to leave. If you decide to leave, you have to pay. If you got stuck, then you don't have to pay. V'dafka imhu anus mamash. But that's only if you're mamash anus. You're forced, out of your control. Aval im machmat chov mamon o pshi'a lo yuchal lavo. But if you can't come back because you have debts, and if you come back, they put you behind bars or whatnot, that's not considered honest. That's your problem. Lo yafsidu haverav chilkam. They're not going to lose, the rest of the community is not going to lose to pay more for the shliach tzibur, for the hazan, because this person is not coming in for his personal reasons. This is only for having a full minyan and also payment of the hazan. Aval etrog lo dami lekol hani minyan lekaman siman tafresh nunchet umash katabnu sham yishuvim esrim iskor minyan v'chazan. So it says if you are in a settlement in a place that you need to hire a minyan and chazan, right? You need both. יש סביבות שרגילים לבוא שם, גם כן עם בני ביתם, אינם צריכים לתת כלום ליישוב. So you have a community that always hires a chazan and a minyan. So let's say, imagine they have 8 people. They want to make sure that they have 10. So they pay for 2 people addition to come. And one of them is a chazan. So they're paying for people, right? And then it happens to be the 5 other people come from next city, say, we couldn't get minyan, we're coming to join. Can the current community say, well, Baruch Hashem, we have 15 people now. 5 of you also have to pay for those 2 that we hired, right? Can they say that? It says the Mishna Berurah, they cannot do it. Those 5 people who come to join the minyan, they're not hired. They don't have to pay nothing to the Bnei HaYishuv. If they want, they'll go to a different city that has already a minyan, and they don't have to hire anybody. They don't have to pay even for the chazan. Because even without me, you have to hire a shliach tzibur anyways. So it's not that I'm benefiting from it, but it's not that I needed it, you needed it, and I am a side beneficiary of that which you have to do for yourself anyways. So you can't obligate them to pay. It would be very nice for them to pay, right? They're benefiting. It's the right thing to participate, but you cannot obligate them to pay because that obligation would need some basis that in this case, the bases don't really exist. And Bezrat Hashem, we finished the Siman over here. We will be, we haven't really finished fully. We have a little bit more to go. Bezrat Hashem will continue this in the